So, I recently saw a couple of Vice interviews, those anonymous interviews about like orgies, and it's basically like people who had been like managers of big hotels, and they anonymously talk about the big orgy parties that filthy rich people do in these luxurious hotels. I mean, just a level of despicability that goes on with these people. It's so uncomfortable. It so makes you feel so creeped out, really. And this made me thinking like I've always like been naive to the human nature, to the true nature of humanity. Ever since like I was a kid, I've always thought that I've basically believed that all humans have something good in them. All people are good. Sometimes they might, so to speak, go astray for a while, but ultimately all human beings are good, like down beneath, like deep down in their heart they are good people. And I was brought up in a very loving family, you can say. My dear mother, she's very religious, and she always taught us to be good and kind and help people. And God is watching over us. God sees everything. So I have basically lived my life with that in my mind. Like everyone is like an image of. Everyone has like good in them. Everyone has the light in them. But unfortunately, this is this is not true. Unfortunately, one comes to realize that goodness seems to be uh, the exception rather than the rule. I've always thought that humanity is, or civilization, so to speak, is like based on goodness. And then there are some people who are bad or evil. But it's I've sort of like changed my mind and come to the terms that evil or malevolence is actually the baseline of nature, of humanity, and goodness is something we strive for, or just a byproduct, or some like it's basically just the cherry on the top, so to speak. And I've seen this throughout my life, that the evil, despicable, the the gross part of humanity. But I've always like tried to rationalize and like try to basically dismiss those experiences and those observations. But I've come to realize that being naive is not a virtue. I don't know who said it, but I've always thought that if someone is naive, it's like a it's like a good thing. This means that this person has a good heart. He believes the best of people. He sees the world as a good place, and he sees humans as good. And with that comes the basically, it just means that the naive person doesn't have a filthy mind. So this naive person is actually a good person, but unfortunately in this wicked world people don't see it that way. If you are naive, then you are it's your own fault that you're being taken advantage of, you know. So being naive, it actually attracts aggression, it attracts humiliation. And even JP, Mr. Jordan Peterson, mentions this, that in one of his lectures or interviews, that the psychopath, he abuses, and the psychopath basically feels that it's your own fault that you're being abused because you are naive. So because you are naive, the psychopath justifies his abuse. And it's very hard to come to terms with that, especially when you are someone who's been brought up in a religious family with a good, warm, sort of protected condition. I'm not saying that my childhood was perfect. I mean, far from it. It was filled with abuse and neglect, but there were also times of warmth and love and harmony. But I think in life, if you are on guard, it's better to be on guard than basically than being naive, you know. Of course, this might sound very very naive, ironically, but all people are not brought up in an environment where they learn that they should be on guard and don't trust people, always think that people have a malevolent idea in their mind, they have a hidden agenda, and they are all out for themselves, and if they can abuse you and use you, they will do it. I actually never thought about that when I was growing up and dealing with people. I always thought that people would not abuse or use a person's goodness and kindness just because it was the wrong thing to do, you know. But unfortunately, one has to come to the realization that this is not the case. It's better to be a warrior in the garden rather than the gardener in a war, right? As the saying goes. I mean, I've seen humiliation firsthand. I've seen abuse. I've seen people slander me even when they knew that my intentions were good. They just found a way to exclude me and basically, what you call it, throw dirt at my name behind my back, make me look like bad, evil, or that I had like bad intentions, basically character assassination. This is what being naive in my life has had the consequence, you know. Being naive have led to my character assassination from abusive people, you know. And oftentimes I have been like blind to the fact that people are playing a power game. Most people out there are in this social hierarchy power game, and one of the aims of this game is exclusion of certain individuals. And this is actually a big part of the whole social game, because excluding someone actually gives the other party a more stable position in the group and secures their position, and also can lift them up if they get a lot of people to agree with them. You know, scapegoating. So, being naive to those things and believing that people are good, and when you like interact with people, that you interact with the baseline of that you are friendly and you will are benevolent, so to speak. This will actually, it can lead you to be very disappointed when most of the things that you have said have been twisted and turned and been used against you. I remember one guy when I was like 13, 14, and you know, being naive, and as I said before, coming from a very cheerful family, I confided in people very quickly. I was very easily, I was very friendable, if there is a word, if you can use that word, easily to become friends with. I basically wanted friends. So I remember I was introduced to this person. He was also 14, and we like joked with each other. And you know, many times friendships start with like you say something small, teasing, you know, you say something about this person and he teases you back, and back and forth, and then finally you become friends. And I this was at least this was what I thought. But what happened was that we started talking, like teasing each other. I said something funny about him and he said something funny about me. I'm not even sure I started it, to be honest. I think this person said something funny about me and I teased him back and forth. And then actually at this time I had a crush on a girl at school, and we actually were in a relationship, you know, like girlfriend boyfriend. But I was, as I said, because I was so religious and come from this background, I never like had intimacy with this girl. So we were like 14, and we were girlfriend and boyfriend, and I had like her photo in my wallet. And I don't know how we touch upon this subject, but for some reason I said like I have a girlfriend or something. I think he said like nobody wants to be your girlfriend or something like that. And I told him, yeah, sure, of course I have a girlfriend, see? And I showed him the photo of this cute little Latina girl, you know? She was Latina, and She was very cute. She had like curves, the S curve body, and like beautiful big lips and like round face. She was very cute. And this was actually my like first real love, you could say. I really like had feelings for her. Those butterflies in your belly, nervousness when you are with her. And I showed this to him, and in hindsight, I remember his reaction. He was so jealous, but of course he didn't say that. Instead, what he said was, he laughed because he was so uncomfortable, that he was so jealous. He was like, look, she has like mustache. You look at her, she's so ugly, la la la. And this also, all of this was actually a big lie, because I will come to the point quite soon. But anyway, I said, no man, she's cute, and I got defensive like that. But for some reason, we became friends after that. At least that's what I thought. He became very friendly with me. So basically, for a whole summer, he called me every day, and I called him, and we became friends. I went to his house. He came to my house. We introduced each other to our respective friend groups. And when you are 14, you have friends. You have people from school. So and I was so naive. Like, I really thought these guys, we became like really best friends. And he told me, like, we went to this like big ass kebab restaurant, and they had such big like dishes of plates of like kebab plates, with rice and salad and the sauce and everything. And we were 14, and we decided, like, hey, I'm gonna, basically, you're on me this time, next time I'm on you. And like, I invite you this time, and next time you pay for it, and next time I pay for it, back and forth, just like we thought it was like a good gesture. So I bought for him one time, and the next time he bought for me, and then the next time. And we had like in our mind, whose time is it to pay for the plate for the next time. And we had this basically also like for like a excuse for like seeing each other, if nothing else. But we saw each other every day, and we became really, really good friends, like best of friends. At least that's what I thought. And then, like, when the summer was almost about to end, I remember actually I had the last time I had bought the plate for us both. So it was his turn next time. The ball was it was his turn, But we didn't do it. We didn't go after what I'm about to say, like what happened when the summer was almost over. And I remember me and this girl had like broken up, but we were still like friends. So, but anyway, and it wasn't like I was heartbroken or something. I think actually I like initiated the relation, the broke the way why we broke up. I think I actually initiated our breakup. But so it wasn't like a big deal for me. But what happened was that one time I remember one of my other friends, he like texted me on MSN. And if you guys are millennials, you know about MSN. MSN, it was like the messenger, basically, when how we used to chat with each other online at the early 2000s. And one of our common friends, he told me, he said like, hey man, hey Afti, this guy, my supposedly best friend, what happened with you two? I said, no, I don't know. He said, man, he talks so much shit about you. he said like all our problems is because of you, all the problems we have in our group was because of you. And I thought something has happened between you two. And I was like, what? I was so surprised. I said, no man, nothing. I don't, it's a shock to me. And yeah, before this incident, I can also disclose that this supposedly my best friend, he had gone to my ex-girlfriend now, and he was together with her now, so they had a relationship now. And I was so like betrayed. So I had told him like, listen man, what you doing? And he was like, if but you guys, you have broken up, la la la, you know. He started to excuse like that. But I still hadn't understand that he was after her from our first, like, as soon as he saw the picture in my wallet from that time, the photo in my wallet, as soon as I like showed him the photo, from there he decided that he would basically take her, you know. And this is my main point, that he had an agenda. Like, this is like how people socialize with each other. Being naive to these things, this is what can happen. But yeah, as I said, I was naive and I thought we were really friends, and I did never see that coming, you know. And this becomes even more evident when after, yeah, I catched him, I talked with him, I said, man, what you doing? And he was like, yeah, we you guys, you had broken up, la la la. And I was like, man, you told me. No, I didn't tell him that because I didn't think about it. But after like after some time, I started thinking, I was like, well, man, he ridiculed her in front of me. He said she was ugly and had a mustache, and so why is he together with her now, you know? But this was all because I was naive and I believed what he said, because this was actually just a game. So he didn't thought she was ugly at all. He actually was, I think he actually at that point became so jealous and thought she was cute and wanted her and was attracted to her. But yeah, and now coming back to what happened was that I told him like, hey, you are why are you together with her? She's my ex-girlfriend. This is not okay. And he was like, oh, you guys, you have broken up, la la la. And then I after like this exchange, I like told him, I was still like emotional. I told him like, look, we broke up. If you break her heart, I will break your legs, or something like that. I said something like that, crazy. I've heard it in the film or something. But basically, I was just taking out my aggression, you know. I didn't think it was okay for a friend to like go and have a relationship with your ex. Especially someone who behaved as like your best friend, who wanted you to believe that you guys were the best of friends, you know. So after this incident, he had slandered me within our whole like group, our common friend group, and he was basically just going off from what I heard. It was like, oh, Afti is the reason we all our problems is because of him. And basically he I don't know why everybody like listened to him. So it was not like cool or popular to associate with me anymore. So he made the whole our whole friend group to like exclude me from the group. And when I heard this, I was so shocked and betrayed, and you know. So I talked with him on MSN like, hey, what have you doing, man? What are you doing? You have slandered me, talked so much shit about me, and all of these things. What have I done to you like that? I thought we were friends, and then look what he does. This sneaky bastard. He gaslighted me so much, and I was still naive to gaslight. I didn't even know gaslighting what it was. He was like, "What? I have never done that. Why you say that? You really believe these things about me? Okay, you know what, Afti? From now on, I know that you believe these things about me. Okay, from now on, we are not friends, you know? From now on, now I understand what you think about me." So he turned and twisted everything. And me being naive, I was like, "Oh, so you didn't say that?" He said, "No." I said, "Okay, but then if that's the case," man, I was so naive. "Oh, if that's the case, then we can still be friends, you know?" And he was like, "No, no, we can't, because you believe like that about me. You know what? In that case, okay, let's not be friends. I will not talk to you, la la la." So he actually he gaslighted me and now made me in the wrong again. And we stopped talking, and he excluded me, and he became friends with my ex-girlfriend, you can say. And he also didn't he also won the exchange of who was gonna pay for whose dinner, you know, for the, as I talked about, the dish, the kebab dish, the thing we had agreed upon. Like, I will pay for you this time, you'll pay for me next time. So he won all of these exchanges, all of this. He basically he won the game that I didn't even know I was in. I didn't even know that I was in a game. And this is what I mean when you are naive and you think the best about people. You think that people are really friends with you, but they all have an agenda. They want to look good in the hierarchy. They want to have resources for themselves. They want to exclude others in order to make themselves look good. Yeah. So this is what happens when you are naive. Don't be naive. Always be on your guard, and always think about what this person wants from you. How are you making this person look? Is there anything to gain from for him to interact with you? You know? And I know all people will say, "Oh, you're too suspicious, man. You're too analytical." But this is all gaslighting. This is all gaslighting because you are on them, because you are onto them, because you are questioning their motives, and because you are real and you're getting close to the truth. Now they want to gaslight you and make you doubt yourself again. I've heard this so many times. "Oh, you're so, oh, you analyze, overanalyze, or you're so suspicious." But this is just gaslighting. Don't believe that. Believe your stomach, believe your belly, what you think, what your feeling is in your. If you feel something in your belly, if you feel something in your stomach, then that's most likely the truth.